adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with our next guest who is from a killer band, and he's a killer artist himself. So let's welcome to the show Christian from Megaherz. How are you?
I'm very, very good now. And how are you?
Oh, I'm doing phenomenal. Hanging out, having a conversation with you, talking about some badass industrial metal. It doesn't get much better than that, right?
That's cool.
So, you guys have been around forever. You're like pioneers in this area. And, it's so funny. I listen to your new music, and even though I don't understand a lick of German except curse words, it's like I do understand without knowing what the words mean. So that's proof of good music, in my opinion.
Yeah, sounds like we did a job that was not even so bad if you understand it, but you can't speak German.
And what's funny I've noticed is when you have different types of music with different types of languages, it's interesting how a lot of artists will do it in English. And then, but if there's some I've talked to, if they put it in their home language, it just doesn't really make sense, the flow of the song. And that's why I noticed with your music. And that's why I think I felt like I knew what was going on, because it's like, I don't even know if English would have worked in those songs. The German just works so perfectly.
Yeah, well, it was not a matter of the the phonetic stuff. If it sounds good, it was like we always had the feeling like everybody who is not using their mother tongue to in the lyrics is missing this biggest weapon of all, because it's the message. I don't think I'm saying too much when I say I don't think that a lot of German people do really listen to the content of the English lyrics. It's more about the way he sings and the melody and the expression. But if you're using German, it's perfect, because it's a transportation tool for your message. Couldn't be better.
Absolutely. And it's funny, while you were saying all that, I was thinking myself, that makes a lot of sense, because I know for me, there's some languages that I can speak not so great, but I'm not really thinking in that language when I'm speaking it. So when I'm speaking it, it's not coming across the same way as if I was speaking English. So that's why I related to, because if you're singing music in your mother tongue, it's just automatic, number one, to yourself. Number two, it's automatic to your home fans, which is where you started. So I think that builds a great foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we started doing that, basically nobody was doing that, and so it was a really a big experiment in some way. But for us, it was it didn't feel dangerous or some risky, because for us it was so natural. Where the band started, when everybody here, I mean, we are from the Munich area, and everybody was into American rock radio music, or I don't know, Metallica, or everybody, every band wanted to be like Bon Jovi, like Guns N' Roses, and bands like that. And we were fascinated by Clawfinger, by the cold atmosphere in their music, and by this machine-like guitar playing and this dude who's rapping. To this, we never. I mean, of course, there has been Run DMC and Aerosmith before, maybe. I think so. But this band Clawfinger, it was their concept. It was a different level, and so and the band started during the 90s when techno was big, and every time I heard techno, I had the feeling like, wouldn't it be nice to, all those techno bass lines, they sound like guitars. They do. And so it was a very natural thing to put those ingredients together. And we had our singer in those days, well, he said, okay, we can do it. It's a great idea and so on, but I'm going to try German. And this is... And when we tried it, it felt perfect. He had so much power. He was using his mother tongue, and which I guess gave him the ability to express himself even more. And that's what it's all about. It's the musicians or the singer's expression, and if you can put that out, or let's say the more you can put out of that, the more will come to the audience. And it's perfect. For us, it felt very natural.
Well, that, I was thinking while you were just saying that's true too, to what I was saying before, because there's times, like I speak Spanish, but there's times I'm around Spanish people or in a Spanish country, and I can't really put my thoughts to words because I'm trying to figure out how to say it the right way. And it kind of loses its translation anyway. If you're trying to, it's like with slang. The slang's not going to make any sense, translating it. So, I mean, I think that's so true. You have so much more passion and expression because you can totally 100% express yourself. Like if I'm speaking Spanish, I don't feel I can 100% express myself as comfortably as English. Like I have English mastered, so I don't even think about it. It's not even a hesitation. Spanish, I'm always trying to think about how I'm supposed to say it.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same with me in interviews like that. I'm always, it's so hard. It's
right.
Right.
But you're doing good. So you're doing good. I've had some before that, it really was hard because their English was so limited that, it was like we had to kind of figure each other out instead of just understanding each other.
Okay. Well, I'm trying very hard.
So tell us about this new album. I want you to pronounce it though, because I'll probably butcher the pronunciation. Speaking of that,
the album is called In Teufels Namen, which translates as in the name of the devil. And basically it is, if I had to wrap it up, it's basically about ethics and about what it's every person has to with most of things you have to do is you have to decide you're standing in front of the decision, how much do I care for other people or what will happen if I do that. And it's and there are a lot of people that don't give a shit about anything. It's just the goal. It's just the aim they want to reach. It could be a money, wealth, fame, whatever. And this is maybe the big, those big elbows are maybe the worst thing of society. And I guess we have to ask ourselves each and every time. It always has to be a good balance. Nobody's saying just do it for the love of God or whatever. It has to be always a good balance because goals have to be achieved and you have to find new things and everything. But please do not forget about your friends or what you about the downside of your actions.
Yeah.
And
True.
and that's basically this is the title of the album wraps it up a little bit, because you always should consider if this what you're doing, is it more in the favor of the people, or are you a little bit on the way in the name of the devil, So just try to make a good balance, and everything's fine.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I'll tell you, I was just like, the best time for me to listen to music is driving down the road and like blasting it in my vehicle. So on my way to the studio, like I had already heard it, but on the way to the studio, my preparation for this interview was to do exactly that. Because then like I was listening to it before, but then doing other things. So it's like I didn't get vibing with it the same way as driving down the road, blasting it, and just like letting it take me on a journey. And that's what I felt like. It was like I just was sitting there. There's music that you turn on like that driving down the road and you keep it on. And then there's other music that you're like, yeah, that's good, but I'm not really in the mood for that. I'll go to something else. Or, you're looking for something that like gets you in a zone. And that's exactly what I felt with your new album.
Oh, thank you so much. That feels good if you say that. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, like, and that's not always the case, is it? Right. That's the test of a good album. Cause I come from the old days where an album was a full experience, and you just sat down, and same thing as I did driving there. You put your headphones on and you just lose yourself in the whole album. Not, oh, let me listen to this track. Oh, I'll listen to this other one. It's just like, just put it on and let it play. Yeah. And
it's a difference if you're into a band and listen to the album, or listening to some kind of, I don't know, heavy rock Spotify playlist, which could be a nice experience as well. But if you're into a band and the band means something to you, you want to absorb each and every note, each and every noise, each and every sound, because it gives something to you.
Oh, absolutely.
That's right.
And what's also good is that a lot of artists nowadays are writing for the sake of singles because of the world we live in, instead of that album concept that we're talking about. And that doesn't mean it has to be a concept album. It's just something that flows. It's kind of like I can even go back to Dark Side of the Moon. It's like, how do you listen to that album and not listen to the whole album? It's watching part of a movie, And that's what I felt with your new album. It's like, it's every song is solid and flows with the other, that, I didn't feel any need to track because it was all right there.
That is maybe the biggest compliment the biggest thing you can say, because I was, that was exactly what I was looking for, what I was hunting for all the time, because as a producer of the album, and I wrote most of the songs of it as well. It was just this one thing to make each and every song like this Autobahn that starts and drives you through this whole thing, and you're going 200 kilometers per hour, and it goes on and on, and there is no stopping sign, and if you're lucky, you have a good break at the end.
I love it.
To not smash into something that you don't want to smash in.
I love it. And as somebody that's driven on the Autobahn a few times, you totally painted that picture perfectly, because I was you brought me there while you were saying it.
Yeah, it's fun.
So let's tell everybody how they connect to you guys on socials, on the web, how they get the new album when it drops, because it's only in a few days. On the 11th, it's supposed to drop. And, any other things, merch, whatever else that you want people to check out, your tour dates, all of it.
I would recommend to check out our Facebook page, because there are link trees that if you click on it, it will give you different opportunities to to listen to the album on Spotify or to pre-order it. Right now you can only listen to the singles because the album is obviously not released yet.
Right.
But you can listen to the singles and you can pre-order it at the Napalm store. You can pre-order it at Amazon, at Apple Music, each and every of one of those big music platforms. We will have some new merch at the 11th of August. So our web designer is starting to rebuild the store and put new products in, and maybe the most important thing, besides that, I want you all to buy this album because I think it deserves it, really. And you have to please show us all that the album is not dead. It's meant for a reason. It's there for a reason. And but we at the end of September, at the 20th of September, our European tour starts. We will do together with our colleagues from Combi Christ.
Nice.
It will be a co-headlining tour, and I'm very excited. We're going across Europe, from Spain, Barcelona, Spain, up to England, Manchester, England, London, and France, and everywhere. It's going to be an adventure.
And here you are on the Adventures of Pipeman, talking about this adventure. And when you said you're co-headlining with Combi Christ, I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be an insane show, no matter where people see it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they are really. They have the sickest sins I've ever heard.
Oh,
it's oh my God.
It's going to be amazing. And this new album is amazing. You guys rock. And I thank you for giving us such great music and putting me on a journey that I can escape reality for a little while with your new album. And thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Hey, thanks, man. Really, thank you so much, and for your kind words, and thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.